Here you will have free English and French videos to increase your skills to talk and to immigrate to Canada. You will have these videos from the partnership with Canada Smart Mind. Subscribe yourself to not miss any video. This is what you are going to have. 1. A grammar rule to know how to say your things. 2. A text to improve your pronunciation. 3. An exercise to consolidate your knowledge. You will learn how to speak English and French. You will learn how to settle in Canada. Subscribe and ring the bell to keep receiving these videos. Do not have concerns anymore. Improve your skills of listening, reading, writing, and speaking to get a higher score on international tests and immigrate to Canada or to any other English or French speaking country. Pay close attention to this video to find out how. Now, here we go. 1. Grammar rule.
There are 4 key skills when you learn a language: listening, speaking, reading, writing. Which one of these is the odd one out? Which one of these is different from the other 3? The answer is speaking. The other 3 you can do alone, on your own, without anyone else. You can listen to the radio alone. You can read a book alone. You can write a letter alone. But you can't really speak alone. Speaking to yourself can be dangerous because men in white coats may come and take you away. That is why you should make every effort possible to find somebody to speak with. Where can you find people who can speak English with you? And how can you practice speaking when you are alone? At school, if you go to a language school, you should use the opportunity to speak to your teachers and other students. When you go home, you can still practice listening, reading and writing, but you probably can't practice speaking. If your teacher asks you a question, take the opportunity to answer. Try to say as much as possible. If your teacher asks you to speak in pairs or groups with other students, try to say as much as possible. Don't worry about your mistakes. Just speak. Conversation clubs. Many cities around the world have conversation clubs where people can exchange one language for another. Look in your local newspaper to find a conversation club near you. They are usually free, although some may charge a small entrance fee. Shopping. If you are living in an English-speaking country, you have a wonderful opportunity. Practice speaking to the local people such as shop assistants or taxi drivers. Even if you don't want to buy anything, you can ask questions about products that interest you in a shop. How much does this cost? Can I pay by check? Which do you recommend? Often you can start a real conversation, and it costs you nothing. Pubs and bars. Even if you don't live in an English-speaking country, there are often American, British, Irish and Australian pubs in many large cities. If you can find one of these pubs, you'll probably meet many people speaking English as a first or second language. Language is all around you. Everywhere you go you find language. Shop names, street names, advertisements, notices on buses and trains. Even if you are not in an English-speaking country, there are often a lot of English words you can see when walking in the street, especially in big cities. And there are always numbers. Car numbers, telephone numbers, house numbers. How can this help you? When you walk down the street, practice reading the words and numbers that you see. Say them to yourself. It's not exactly a conversation, but it will help you to think in English. For example, if you walk along a line of parked cars, say the number on each car quickly as you pass it. Test yourself to see how fast you can walk and still say each number. But don't speak too loud. Songs and video. Listen to the words of an English language song that you like. Then repeat them to yourself and try to sing with the music. Repeat the words as many times as possible until they become automatic. Soon you'll be singing the whole song. Or listen to one of your favorite actors on video and repeat 1 or 2 sentences that you like. Do it until it becomes automatic. It's good practice for your memory and for the mouth muscles that you need for English. Above all, don't be afraid to speak. You must try to speak, even if you make mistakes. You cannot learn without mistakes. There is a saying, the person who never made a mistake never made anything. So think of your mistakes as something positive and useful. Speak as much as possible. Make as many mistakes as possible. When you know that you have made a mistake, you know that you have made progress.
Now, here's the grammar rule that you can use while you are talking. Remember, you got to have the grammar rules, the pronunciation, and the vocabulary to sustain your conversation. I wish I could say some soft words to you and cool you down, but here is the thing, you have to go deep into your practice to develop your skills. We post here the basics of grammar, pronunciation, and vocabulary. So hit the subscribe button and bell icon in order to receive the other videos and increase your ability to speak. Also, contact us to see how easy and cheap is to enroll in our teaching program, where you can have videos, exercises, and books to support your work and to increase your performance. And share this video with your friends and help them out. To text.
Andrew wanted to get a COVID-19 vaccine, but was afraid his parents would not approve. He signed up for a vaccine in secret. Then he told his parents just before he was to receive the vaccine. But his father told him no. He said, "You are not getting this vaccine." Andrew said it was the first time his father had ever done something like that. "He grabbed my shirt and yelled in my face," said Andrew, a 17-year-old student in Hoover, Alabama. Children under 18 need their parents' permission to get medical treatment, such as the vaccine against COVID-19. Students and organizers of campaigns that directly target young people for vaccination efforts are facing reactions from families. Millions of American students have returned to school in recent weeks. At the same time, the coronavirus continues to spread at high rates in some places. U.S. President Joe Biden has pushed school districts to persuade students to get vaccinated. Biden's administration has also pushed for clinics in schools that provide vaccines. But distrust of the vaccine and other concerns remain in communities in many parts of the country. And many state governments and school districts are not pushing the vaccine in some areas for several reasons. In Tennessee, the health department ended vaccination events and outreach aimed at children. Republican lawmakers criticized advertisements aimed at children that included words like "Give COVID-19 vaccines a shot." Republican lawmakers accused the health department of peer pressuring children to get the vaccine. It is estimated that half of people ages 12 to 17 have been vaccinated across the country. That age group has been able to get the Pfizer vaccine since May. Pfizer is currently testing a vaccine for younger children. Last week, the Los Angeles Unified School District School Board voted to require vaccines for students 12 and older. Conflicting information surrounding vaccination efforts at schools is damaging trust between parents and school officials. School officials in Kettering, Ohio, said they received death threats in August. They came after social media videos on TikTok falsely claimed the district was vaccinating children without parental permission. There was no truth to the claims, but they caused huge hysteria in the community, said Scott Inskeep, the head of Kettering City Schools. "Our families really are struggling with both information and disinformation," Inskeep said. "It's like a match being put to a gasoline fire. When it starts, it's hard to put out." Research by the Kaiser Family Foundation said that 8 states permit children to get vaccines without parental permission. The states are Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Arkansas, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Alabama. In some areas, there have been efforts to make it easier for children to get vaccinated. State lawmakers in New York and New Jersey introduced laws that would permit teens to agree to vaccines without their parents' permission, but they were not approved. The Washington, D.C. City Council passed a law giving young children the ability to make medical decisions, but a group is disputing the law in court. In May, officials in 2 Oregon counties banned health officials from giving vaccines to underage children without parental permission. Yamhill County Commissioner Lindsay Bershauer, who is also the mother of 3 teenagers, said, "Our children are not the property of the state of Oregon." But the counties removed the ban after state health officials released an opinion saying children 15 and older have the right to make their own health decisions. Alabama's law permits children like Andrew, who disagreed with his father, to get the vaccine on their own. But in reality, that is almost impossible. The Alabama Department of Public Health requires parental permission. So do large pharmacies. Andrew's Hoover High School does not push for COVID-19 vaccinations on its website or social media sites. There has been no sign the school will hold a vaccine clinic. The day after their argument, Andrew's father took him to the pharmacy and signed his permission form without saying a word. Pediatricians sometimes try to create discussion between children and parents to encourage the use of the COVID-19 vaccine. But it does not always work, even with parents who have accepted a pediatrician's recommendation for other vaccines. Dr. Katrina Skinner is president of the Alabama chapter of the American Academy of Pediatrics. She said some parents look at her like she is feeding their child poison when I'm recommending a COVID vaccine. I'm Dan Novak.
Remember to go to the description and check the links for Canadian companies searching for employees outside of Canada. Also, there is a link to contact us in the description. Since you can count only on yourself, make your inscription and hit the like and the bell icons to receive our videos. 3. Exercise.
Quiz. Bay Area finds remote work is easier to begin than end. What is true about efforts to vaccinate children in Tennessee? The health department ended vaccine outreach to children. Some lawmakers said the health department was peer pressuring children to get the vaccine. Republican lawmakers criticized advertisements aimed at children. All of the above is true. Right. To keep their work culture, why did major tech companies build appealing common areas? They believe common areas make people happier. They thought it would bring better employees. They thought it would make employees more creative. They wanted to show how much money they had. Right. They thought it would make employees more creative. What idea did Christy Lake say? Has no support from research. Managers want to feel like they own people. People are more creative when they are together. Managers do not have a job. When they are at home, people want to work more from home. Right. People are more creative when they are together. What did Zoom say about its employees? It is easier to pay people less when they work from home. Managers have no stress when they work from home part-time. Most of its employees do not want to end working from home. Most of its employees want to come into the office part-time. Right. Most of its employees want to come into the office part-time.
Tell us your questions and pretty soon, you will see what we have to say. Leave your comments about this video and we will know what you like and what we can do to better help you. Thank you for watching this video and be sure that we will be with you in this journey to turn your dreams into reality. Keep up there and write your story. I'll see you at the next one. Bye for now.